Hey everyone, we are already in the third part of our lesson 1 here in Becoming a Research Enthusiast by Mom Glads. And let me welcome you all in my practical research channel, the Quantitative edition. So do not forget guys to subscribe the channel, like it, share it, and smash the bell notification button. Okay, because I will be uploading more videos soon. Okay, so let's begin. Yay! So guys, for the first two videos, yung lesson proper videos I uploaded, we did talk about the definitions, characteristics, and then the strengths and weaknesses of quantitative research. And then now we will be talking about the different types of quantitative research. So let's begin with the first one, which is the historical, or historical research. So accordingly, it studies events after the fact. So from the word historical, guys, we tend to examine different experiences using documentations, that is useful in the studying of the changes, na nangyayari over time, Mapa characteristics man yan, mapa quality man yan, or whatsoever. That is what we meant by historical research. The second one is the descriptive research. So when we talk about descriptive research, systematically documents current events, so mga products or certain phenomena that can be measured directly by our researchers, So in this descriptive research, ginagamitan natin to ng descriptive statistics, meaning we make use of means, or we look for the means, the median, range, variance, and the standard deviation, etc. And we use it to summarize, and give order, Nagbibigay tayo ng order sa mga measures that we did, in our descriptive research. The third one is correlational research. So from the word correlational, it means it reveals systematic relationship between variables. Ibig sabihin, nagpapakita na kung ano yung mga relationship ng certain parameters, that is supposed to be measured by certain features of a phenomena. So, yun yung ini-investigate natin. So, a correlation facilitates certain predictions. Ibig sabihin, it tries to look into mga certain predictions na pwedeng ma-prove through statistics or statistical tools na ginagamit natin. And we are able to get mga restrictions ng mga predictions, and for us to be able to identify causal relationships of these variables among others. Experimental research, guys, on the other hand, reveals a cause and effect relationship by systematically manipulating one parameter, which is, sabihin natin, yung independent variable, and observing the influence on another, which is the dependent variable. Para mas madaling maintindihan, let us take it this way. Substitute natin yung mga variables. The independent variable, gawin natin siyang distance. Meanwhile, the dependent variable, gawin natin siyang fair rate. So, ngayon, halimbawa, you come from Baliwasan Senior High School, tas gusto mong pumunta ng KCC. Sabihin natin that is just 2 kilometers. So, bayad mo sa taxi, say for instance, is 50 peso. So, yon 2 kilometers, 50 pesos. So, ngayon, let's try to manipulate the independent variable, yung distance natin. So, sabihin natin from Baliwasan Senior High School, dadaan ka muna ng Sinunok. Then from Sinunok, pupunta ka ng KCC. As you can see, naging malayo yung distance natin. And it is expected na tataas ang fair rate natin. Okay? Considering na na-manipulate natin ang distance. So, meaning, in the experimental research, we are trying to look into the influences sa dependent variables, okay, as we manipulate the independent variable. In that case, okay, minanipulate natin ang distance, okay, makikita natin na hindi na lang syempre from baliwasan to sinunok to cases, hindi na lang 50 peso yung babayaran natin sa taxi, but expectedly, mag-i-increase din siya. Okay? That is how we do it in experimental research. Allow me to speak about research design, guys. So, research design is actually the overall strategy that you choose in order to integrate different components of a study in a coherent and logical manner. Okay? So, ito siya ang nagsasabi or nagdidictate paano natin papagandahin yung flow ng ating research. Now, research design serve as our blueprint or guide as we do our research. Okay? And it will also dictate us the measurements that we are about to use, and at the same time, the analysis that we are supposed to utilize in our study. Okay? Tatandaan natin, guys, that the research design is dependent on the research problems that we have in our research. Let me discuss about the classification of quantitative research. So, meron tayong dalawa dyan, the experimental, and the second one is the non-experimental research. Now, let's talk about experimental research design muna. So, etong experimental research design actually allows the researcher to control certain situation, no? Na ma-explain niya kung ano yung mga causes ng mga certain phenomena para mag-occur. Under dyan sa experimental research design, meron tayong three classes. The pre-experimental, the true experimental, and the third one is the quasi-experimental. Now, pre-experimental types of research, meron tayong one-shot case study, and the second one is the one-group pre-test and post-test design. Now, etong sinasabi kong pre-experimental type actually applies experimental design with least. Okay, tatandaan ninyo, kapag pre-experimental, least internal validity siya. So, one type of pre-experimental is the single group pre-test and post-test design that measures the group twice, okay, or 2 times before and after the intervention. So, tatandaan nyo yan. Now, instead of comparing yung pre-test natin with the post-test within one group, okay, yung sa pre-experimental, ang ginagawa natin, yung post-test ng treated group, kino-compare natin siya sa untreated group or the control group. Ganon yung way natin or process natin sa pre-experimental. Meanwhile, in the quasi naman, the researcher can collect more data. So, either magsischedule ba sila ng madaming observation for them to be able to find more existing measures. Okay? So, ganun sa quasi. They can schedule several times para marami silang makuhang info. In the true experimental, on the other hand, it controls both time-related and group-related threats. Okay? So, dito, employs both treated and control group to deal with time-related rival explanations. So, hindi pwedeng isa lang. Kung nag-pressure ka or nag-time pressure ka sa isang grupo, then you are also required to have the same time pressure sa kabilang group. Hindi pwedeng isa lang. Still under the true experimental design, a control group reflects changes other than those due to treatment that occurs during the time of study. So, most likely, sinasabi natin, such changes includes the effect of outside events or maturation by the subject or changes of the measure and impact of any pretest. Kasi, pwede, no, sa paulit-ulit na pagbigay ng pretest, most likely nasanay na sila. So, that could influence yung mga possible changes na yan. Okay? Na pwedeng or nagkaroon ng effect sa maturation ng mga subjects. And under true experimental pa rin, kung matatandaan niyo, minention ko kanina, sa pre-experimental, meron siyang list, okay? Internal validity. Dito sa true experimental, ang validity niya has highest eternal validity, okay? Dito sa kabila, sa pre-experimental, list. Dito naman sa true experimental, highest internal validity of all the designs. So, quasi-experiment design differs from true experiment design by the absence of random assignments of subject to different conditions. Okay? So, yun yung meron yung isa na wala dito sa kabila. So, common in quasi-experimental design and true experimental, same sila, both quasi and experimental, is that some subjects receive an intervention and provide data to reflect its impact. Okay, so para sila, okay, na nakakatanggap ng intervention, okay, para meron silang point of reflection, okay, kung saan sila nagkakaroon ng impact. Now, how about the types of quasi-experimental design? So, meron tayong first one, non-equivalent control group design. So, refers to the chance of random assignments to equalize a condition by converting a true experiment into the kind of design for purposes of analysis. So, kumbaga, sinasabi natin dito, okay, nagbibigay tayo ng different chances, okay, para ma-equalize or maging level yung condition natin na ginagawa natin sa true experiment natin. Okay? Na, bakit ba? Why is it that we are doing this? For the purpose of analysis. Okay. The second one is interrupted time series design. So, employs measures before and after experimental interventions. So, yun yung ginagawa natin sa interrupted time. And then, sa non-experimental naman, guys, the observers or the researchers tend to observe certain phenomena that occurs naturally. No external variables are introduced. Okay, so wala. The variables are not manipulated, hindi. Nor the setting is not controlled. Okay? So, researcher dito sa non-experimental design collects data without making any changes or introducing treatment. So, unlike dun sa mga experimental, hindi na tayo magbibigay ng mga treatments. Okay? So, hindi na yon. Wala yan dito sa non-experimental. So, ano-ano ba yung mga non-experimental? Meron tayong the first one, descriptive. Okay? So, under dyan sa descriptive, meron tayong survey, okay? Meron tayong correlational, may ex post facto studies, may comparative, may evaluative, at meron tayong tinatawag na methodological na type of study. Now, let's begin with descriptive research design. So, the main purpose of this descriptive design is syempre to observe, describe, and document aspect of a situation, and it's naturally occurs and sometimes to serve as starting point for hypothesis generation or theory development. So commonly dito meron na siyang basis, meron ng theories that could actually become your point of reference para maka-generate ka or maka-get ka ng idea where you could start your hypothesis. Sa survey, okay, which is part of the descriptive, a research design used when the researcher intends to provide quantitative or numeric description ng ano-ano, ng trends, ng attitudes, or opinion of a certain population by studying a sample of that certain population. That is according to Creswell of 2003. Okay? So, pinag-aaralan mo yung population by choosing huge number of respondents galing doon sa population na yon. The second one is the correlational research design. So, meron tayong 3 types of correlational research. First one is the bivariate correlation studies. Second is the prediction studies. And the third one is the multiple regression. Okay. Now, start tayo sa bivariate correlation studies. This actually obtains scores from 2 variables for each subject. So, kumbaga, mag-choose ka ng dalawang subject and then you have to have 2 variables for each subject. Then, use them to calculate a certain correlation coefficient. Okay? So, magko-compute ka. Okay? So, the 2 variables are correlated, masasabi natin. Okay? So, meron silang relationship. Prediction studies na kung saan, guys, we use coefficient to show how one variable or yung itong unang variable natin na tinatawag na predictor variable predicts another, okay? Or the criterion variable. Ibig sabihin, sa existence ng isang variable na to, you will be able to predict another variable that might exist dahil dito sa first existing variable. Ganun siya. Next is the multiple regression. Okay. So, under pa rin siya sa prediction studies. So, variables can contribute to the overall prediction in an equation that adds together the predictive power of each identified variable. So, minimin natin dito sa multiple regression na to is that yung mga variables mo, okay, can actually influence yung overall prediction. So, paano ba natin i-explain to? It's something like, mababa ang grades mo sa 5 subjects, then definitely, masasabi mo na yung overall prediction mo sa grades mo will definitely become mababa also. Meanwhile, in the ex post factor research design, these are non-experimental design that are used to investigate causal relationship. Okay. So, they examine whether one or more pre-existing condition could possibly have caused subsequent differences in groups of subjects. So, meaning, ito bang certain condition na to, pwede ba siyang magkakos or makakos ng difference in the groups of subjects that is actually existing. Meanwhile, the comparative design involves comparing and contrasting 2 or more samples of study subjects. So, on 1 or more variables, often a single point of time. So, ibig sabihin, sabay-sabay mo silang tinitest. And then, it is used to compare 2 distinct groups on the basis of selected attributes such as pwedeng knowledge, level, perceptions, attitudes, and even physical and psychological symptoms. Pwede mo siyang makita sa comparative. Meanwhile, sa evaluative research naman, seeks to assess or judge in some way providing information about something other than might be gleaned in mere observation or investigation of relationship. So, dito, you are evaluating. So, meaning you are giving judgment. Okay? So, kung based on sa na-obserbahan mo or sa na-investigate mo, you are going to, at this point, give judgment or assessment sa kung ano yung mga nakuha mong information. Okay? So, that is evaluative research. And under din dyan sa evaluative research na yan, is conducted to elicit useful feedback. Nag-feedback tayo. After we evaluate, okay, we are expected to give feedback of a variety of respondents from various fields para saan? For us to be able to aid decision-making or policy formulation, investigation, or relationship in the future. Okay, so that is evaluative. Mag-judge, then after that, we give feedback. Okay, that is under evaluating. And the last one is the methodological. So in this approach, the implementation of variety of methodologies forms a critical part of achieving the goal of developing a scale-match approach where data from different discipline can be integrated or pwede natin silang i-match up or pwede natin silang ma-apply. Okay, ma-apply into several approaches or several times. So, Yun. So, recap lang tayo. When we speak of quantitative research, meron tayong experimental and non-experimental. So, under the experimental, meron tayong tinatawag na pre-experimental. Meron din tayong tinatawag na true experimental and quasi-experimental. Kapag sinabi naman nating non-experimental research design, we have the survey, the correlational, the ex post facto studies, and the comparative, evaluative, and the last one is the methodological research design. So, yun. How I hope, guys, you were able to learn something out from this video, no? Medyo mahirap-hirap siyang i-explain, but how I hope that you were able to clear up things na hindi ninyo naiintindihan dyan sa module ninyo. And how I hope that this is going to help you answer the questions na need ninyong sagutan dyan sa modules ninyo. So before I formally end, thank you so much for watching my videos. Okay? And thank you also for those people who already subscribed the channel, who like, who commented, and who also activated the notification button. No? For those who failed to do that, do not forget to subscribe, to like, to comment, to share this, and activate the bell button so that you will be notified. Ang dami pang videos that I will be uploading soon. So once again, thank you so much. This is Becoming a Research Enthusiast by Ma'am Gladz in my Practical Research channel, the Quantitative Edition. So long and goodbye, everyone. Have a nice day.